Preparation for tonight's talk, I found a little story that I enjoyed, and I thought it was worth reading. Starts off, a gentleman's walking through an elephant camp, and he spotted that the elephants weren't being kept in cages or being held by the use of chains. All that was holding them back from escaping the camp was a small piece of rope tied to one of their legs. As the man gazed upon the elephants, he was completely confused as to why the elephants didn't just use their strength to break the rope and escape the camp. They could easily have done so, but instead they didn't try at all. Curious and wanting to know the answer, he asked a trainer nearby why the elephants were just standing there and never tried to escape. The trainer replied, "When they're very young and much smaller, we use the same size rope with them and tie them, and at that age it's enough to hold them. As they grow up, they're conditioned to believe that they cannot break away. They believe the rope can still hold them, so they never try to break free. The only reason that the elephants weren't breaking free and escaping the camp is that over time they'd adopted the belief that it just wasn't possible." I kind of like that little story because in relating to us and God, sometimes we're the same way. There's just one little thing holding us back oftentimes, one little thing that's got us tethered to the world, so to speak. It may be some sin that we can't seem to get away from. It can be family, friends, job, entertainment. There's a host of things that we can have in our lives or that we let or believe that is keeping us away from God, or that it is actually keeping us away from God because we let ourselves be tied to it. 2 Corinthians 6:14 tells us, "Do not be bound together with unbelievers, for what partnership have righteousness and lawlessness, or what fellowship has light and darkness?" If we let ourselves be tied with one little thing, we lose the whole thing. That's all it takes. Like the elephants, we have the ability to walk away or stay away from something that may be holding us back, but we oftentimes let our mind just hold on to that one little thing. Michael read a few minutes ago in Galatians 5:1, "It was for freedom that Christ set us free. Therefore keep standing firm and do not be subject again to a yoke of slavery." These elephants weren't necessarily slaves, but they were yoked to a stick that they had the complete ability to leave at any time. And we're often the same way. Mark 9:23, Jesus said to them, "If you can," all things are possible to him who believes. If we believe in Christ, we do what he says, all things are possible. And he has given us the hope and the promise of everything, which is heaven. So let's don't let ourselves be yoked and tied to the world with oftentimes just one or two little things. That there's many good people in this world that just allow one or two things to hold them back, and let us not be part of that. But we also have to know that if we have done that, or we have become part of Christ and we've let ourselves slip back to something like that, we have the opportunity and the knowledge that God will forgive us. So each time we come together, we want to offer the invitation to, if anyone who's never become part of Christ's body, will have the opportunity, or if anyone who has fallen away from him will have the opportunity to come back. If you have a need, please come forward as we stand and sing.